Oh well, another time. Hello, live chat. All messages are visible. Let's make it. Okay. Hello, good morning. Nicola McKenna here for your Morning Pages Live. Come on, bring it. Bring your dissatisfaction and your unhappiness and your malcontent. Bring all of those things to your pages today. Bring them all. That's what they're here for. Blank page will not judge you, will not criticize you. It will just let out all the stuff. I know, it's magic. There is magic in this practice. This practice is part of Julia Cameron's Artist's Way. I love you. I love you. It is so nice. I love this book. This was brought into my life about 10 years ago. And the lass who brought it into my life, she didn't even say, buy the book kind of thing. She was just that relaxed. And she helped me to develop this lovely relaxed approach to the Artist's Way, that it doesn't have to be just done once in your life. It's like do or die kind of thing. 12 weeks of absolute punishment. She wanted to foster more of a holistic approach to the creative life anyway. So she managed to develop and deliver the program in such a way that it was a lot more kind to us, and a lot more forgiving and a lot more compassionate. So there can be purists, and a lot of people do the 12 weeks and just put the nose to the ground. And, that's okay, that's allowed. But I just do it a bit more gently. Hi, Eva, and hi, Mandakini. I'm just going to try to hide. It says live chats. Some chats, none. Oh, God, hide all. Yeah, so they're still disappearing. Anyway, I'm catching them now that I'm looking over on this side. So, bring all of your malcontent to the pages and know that whatever you have to put down today, it won't be judged. It will not be criticized. But that doesn't mean that we can't be letting our critic out. Okay. So I always talk about, kind of giving space to to the hurt part of you, and giving space as well to the fear part of you, and giving space as well to the judge, the ego, the critic, and those parts of us that the rest of the world don't really want to hear, and we don't want the rest of the world to see it. By and large, doesn't do our reputations much good. However, when we can express that judge, express that critic, it's a bit like a gossip. A gossip tries to hold their tongue. They really try, and after a while, it just blurts out all this anger and all this judgment and all this criticism, just blurts out. And isn't it safer in lots of ways to have a blank page to put it down on? So that's also what morning pages are good for, to let the judgment out, to let the gossip out. Is she really doing that? Oh my God, I can't believe she said that. I can't believe that that they're going ahead with this stupid plan. Let all of that out today if you wish. Know that your pages will take all of that, and your pages won't think that you're a critic or a gossip or a judge. Your pages won't look at you and go, oh, you're one to talk, aren't you? Your pages won't say to you, you really should stop this. Your pages are going to lie wide open and say, you know what, I'm here for you. Let it all out. So I encourage you today to let out the critic, let out the judge, and know that it's safe here, and know that it's not going to do any harm at all. How about self-chastisement? Yeah, I believe in whatever is coming up, Mandakini. Whatever is coming up, it's going ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I need to be heard. I need to be seen. So go for it. Bring the self-chastisement. And that's going to be, flagellation sometimes. It's going to be like hardcore, it's going to be a bit like Dan Brown and the monk flagellating himself. That was in the Da Vinci Code. Oh my God, I love that novel. But yeah, self chastisement. Yeah, whatever's coming up, absolutely. Go with God. I've done it many's the time. I've chastised myself many's the time, just because it needs to kind of come out. Because if I don't let it come out on the pages, guess what? It just goes round on a movie reel, on a continuous loop in my brain. It just makes my day so much worse. So yeah, whatever's coming up, God, yeah, I'm so glad you said that, Mandakini, because self-chastisement is real and we all experience it. But the thing is, when we experience it and we express it out to the rest of the world, verbally or in some other way, that invites them to come back in a defensive way. Mandakini says, looping and looping and looping over ad absurdum. Yeah, yeah. Meet your sister. God, sometimes I liken these, thoughts to being in a projector room and just watching the same thing time and time again. And it's so vivid and it's so convincing. It's so vivid and it's so convincing. And I think that that's probably a good thing. It's probably like an imagination, a really strong imagination. But when it drives you mental, yeah, not cool. Not cool. I'd love to find a way out of that. So use your pages. Use your pages. And yeah, self-flagellation. Dan Brown, did he ever write anything after that? I think he wrote about 2 or 3 novels, and they were like blockbusters. There's like copies of the Da Vinci Code scattered all over the planet, filling landfill or having been recycled or, stuffing a gap in something. There's just billions of copies of the Da Vinci Code somewhere. Maybe someday that'll happen with my book. Yay! Someday my book will go into landfill. No. Guys, grab your pens. Yesterday's foray with the Stabilo was amazing. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. So I'm going to go with that again. And I'm intending to underline and review with red. And this big, thick, dirty red, what is it? It's a point, as I talk about point, I think it's 0.7. Oh, it's broad. Yeah, it's 0.7. Yeah, of a millimeter. So that's fairly delible, I hope you're keeping well anyway. We're going to start our pages. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you very much, and hope you're enjoying it. And if there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. We just keep it simple Monday to Thursday, and on a Friday then we go long. So on Friday we indulge our critic, we indulge our ego, and we also allow space for a little bit of self-therapy to happen and a little bit of inner creative child to come out as well, because we do 45 minutes. We started fairly prompt. We do 45 minutes and we aim for the hallowed 3 pages. So whether you get to a page and a half or whether you get to 4.5 pages, we don't really measure it in those terms, and I would encourage you to not necessarily measure it in those terms. Look at it as time. And the reason for that is because we have no control over time and therefore we can't judge it. When it's us looking at, oh, I've only done a half a page, oh, I've only done 3 pages, oh, I've only done, we tend to put in that word only, and that brings judgment on ourselves, So look at it in terms of time, and say, well, I can't stop the clock, can I? So I'll do what I can do in the time. We have no control over time. If you have, let me know. All right, let's get started. Are you ready? Okay. And settle yourself down. I have coffee. I am going to drink it. I haven't had anything all morning. Let's go. Okay, 10 minutes and go. There we go. Just finishing off. That's all right. Okay. Our 10 minutes are up. Swap colours if you like. It's up to you. Start at the bottom, go up. Start at the top, go down. It's up to you. We have 60 seconds and it really flies, guys. So get started and don't overthink it too much. Okay, this is just a review. It's just things to remember. And go. There you go now. 60 seconds flies, doesn't it? Seriously, just bonkers. In mine, there was a couple of like practical requests to go off and do something. But it also kind of brought to me a little development that might help me emotionally. It might also help me take kind of the next steps in my creative practice, which is lovely. So hopefully your page has brought something to you, So while Julia says don't reread your stuff, she gets us to kind of week 9. She gets us, if we make it to week 9, and I'll tell you about that in a second, but in week 9 she encourages you to pull out 9 weeks worth of morning pages and to go back over them. And I think there is value in that. We see who we were at week 1 and that confusion or desperation or whatever we arrive to the creative program with. We also get to see ourselves with maybe a bit more compassion and bring a bit more compassion. Week 9 is compassion week. What I found difficult about that practice of pulling out 9 weeks worth of morning pages was there wasn't 9 weeks worth of morning pages. I often just did the pages piecemeal, especially the first several times I went through the book. I just found it really, really difficult. So cut yourself some slack on that. But also I found it overwhelming, that notion of going back and revisiting the pain, and there was an awful lot of pain coming out in my early there's still pain coming out actually in my morning pages, but way back, for the first 5 or 6 times through the book, it was a lot of pain. So I found that really difficult, and I couldn't see a way through it, so I just parked it. And now that I do it kind of Monday to Thursday, I just have these 60 seconds of review, of almost like, making a laundry list and here's things to remember. Because 60 seconds doesn't allow us overthink it really, and we don't get mired in, the gunk. So hopefully this is of some benefit to you. We're coming up to 25 past the hour. I'm happy to stay on and chat if you guys want to, but I know if you're busy, go with God, it's all good. So Mandakini says, could you please say a few words about not reading or going on a media fast? Yeah, absolutely, Mandakini. So just to relate it back to the 12 weeks again, not suggesting that people have to do the 12 weeks or whatever. A lot of people who come to the morning pages live and especially watch the replay, they're just doing it for peace of mind. So I just want to make that clear at the start. But the not reading, reading deprivation, is a tool that Julia introduces in her 12 weeks of Artist's Way creative program. And she brings it in about week 4. And it has a couple of purposes, really. The main purpose is to help us develop our self-awareness. Okay, so by and large, social media, television, cinema, novels, even cereal boxes, sides of the milk cartons, those people put text and images there to entertain us, to kind of distract us, to kind of keep us on the straight and narrow, you know. But of course, the Artist's Way doesn't want to keep us on the straight and narrow. The Artist's Way wants to shake us about a wee bit, you know, because that's what we've signed up for. That's what we're looking for. And so reading deprivation gets us to take the milk carton, the novel, the newspaper, the social media, maybe the cinema, maybe the theatre, whatever it is you've chosen to give up, and it puts it over to the one side and it says, you know what, all that entertainment is great and everything, but we're just going to park it for now. Because moving it out of the way, literally pushing it out of the way like that, makes space around us. And that space can help us sit and go, oh God, all this space. What's it for? Why am I, you know, what's the thing that's trying to come in here? But I'm using all of these entertainments to distract me from exploring something. So reading deprivation provides space, and it provides safety, and it also provides vitally time, which is, you know, our enemy. It gives us 7 days of not looking at screens or novels or newspapers and going, oh, what's inside of me? Because of course the novels and the newspaper and the milk cartons, they're all outside of us, and we can either consume them or we can just move them to one side for a second and start tuning into what's here. So it's to help us develop our self-awareness. That's it in a nutshell. If there's anything more specific, Mandakini, just shout, let me know. It helps us to develop our self-awareness and therefore listen to what it is our inner artist or our real self or our id or whatever you want to call it, whatever that's wanting to come up and come out, you know. Eva, you said listening. Did you say listening, that you're listening? I don't know if that's if there's more to that than just that, but let me know. So once we have the space and the time, vitally 7 days, we kind of get to listen to what's coming up. And all of those excuses, and sorry, they are excuses, and I use them as well. I don't have time to write the novel. I don't have time to paint the painting. I don't have time to go and sketch that lovely branch that's outside. Mandakini says, I seem unable to stay in all that space, get impatient and tend to fill it with other stuff. So normal, Mandakini. It's so normal for us to do that. It's our normal, natural, it's like our monkey brain, you know. So let the monkey brain come and yeah, it's good to listen. Okay, Eva, that's great, thanks. On Mandakini, it is really difficult to sit with all the stuff, or to sit with all the space, I beg your pardon. If I may share what I did the first 4 or 5 times through the Artist's Way, and that was over a space of maybe 5 years, 6 years. I didn't do the reading deprivation. I found it too difficult. I found all of that space much, much, much too difficult. I just had more to get out of me. So I developed morning pages. I got more out of me because I think sometimes when we make the space, when we park the reading, let's say, and when we make the space and we're suddenly aware of all of the space, what actually comes through us is not the urge to go and write down a plot of a movie or whatever. It's not that simple. Sometimes there's deluge of gunk, deluge of pain, deluge of self-chastisement, more disappointment, more anger. It takes as long as it takes. It takes sometimes longer than we want. Yeah, and I hear you on the impatient. Jeepers, I'm so impatient. Even after 10 years, Mandakini says, true, dealing with a lot of that now. Yeah, look, lean on us. Lean on us, Mandakini. Just keep letting it out. That's what I've had to do. I've had to do it for years that way. After about 7 years of doing this artist's way, I finally tried no, maybe not 7, maybe 6. I finally tried the reading deprivation. And I remember not telling anybody because I was so afraid that I would fail. And I remember making sure that, let's say, the books weren't pushed away. Thanks, glad to hear it's validating and comforting. I didn't push away the books. I didn't want I didn't want myself to feel that I was being deprived. So let's look at that idea of depriving ourselves as opposed to facilitating other things in our life, you know. So sometimes the language around these practices can be quite difficult. Reading deprivation, as Julia says, reading is our tranquilizer. Reading keeps us on the straight and narrow. Reading, you know, allows us to go out and face the world. And that could be reading a text message, or it could be reading an article online. It could be reading the side of the cornflakes box, you know. I've always done that. Even as a child, I've always read in order to cope. In order to cope, I've always read, you know, the Weetabix box, whatever it happens to be, you know. And those copywriters did a good job, you know. I'm joking. They always had plenty to keep your brain and occupied and keep you kind of focused on something else, keep you entertained, you know. So the question is, week 4, are you ready and willing? Ready and willing, two big separate things. Mandakini says, I have read to close myself off, and yet, yes, I read compulsively. Yeah. So the question there might be, if you moved the books to one side. I know you're a writer anyway, Mandakini, same as me, and it might be an idea then to take your morning pages, if time allows, and go for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And I know that you always turn up on Friday anyway, so it sounds like that's really working. But if it's something that you just don't feel ready for, by all means, keep reading. You know what I mean? Like, the sky is not going to fall in, and you're not going to be doing this wrong. You know, the book is always here, and I always say that. The book is always here to, it'll be here for you next year. It'll be here for you in a decade. It'll be there for you. So, and you can deprive yourself of reading or go off social media any time. This time last year, I made a little snippet of a video. I was up to my eyes with this big art show, and it was a great opportunity, and I was in the deep end. I mean, I never faced anything like it. I was pulling all-nighters frequently. And I started comparing myself to other artists, and I started, you know, so I would have used Instagram, let's say, for putting up reels and promotion and you know, getting artwork out. This is way before I was doing Morning Pages Live. And I just felt the fear coming in, I felt the judge coming in, and it was overwhelming because I was working so hard. I was pulling these all-nighters and still running the family home. So it was bonkers. And I remember making a short reel and saying, everybody, it's so nice to follow you and it's so nice to be part of your lives. But FYI, I'm going off social media for I think I said till January, because my show was happening in January and I had to, at the end of January, and I had to promote it in the week or so before. But I worried about coming off, okay, for 2-3 months. But then I consoled myself with the fact that I'm up to my eyes. I'm super busy. I need to get this work done. There's a lot riding on it. And also it's Christmas. I tend to hibernate through the winter. I tend to not um, go onto social media because it affects my mental health and it makes me feel inadequate. It makes me feel like I'm not doing enough, like I am not enough. So it was actually perfect timing to go off social media. And bear in mind as well that Julia wrote The Artist's Way 30 plus years ago when there was no social media, you know. So some people can go off reading and some people go off social media, and there's value in both of those, you know. Zacratessin, yeah, you mentioned how much reading is a comfort. It is, it's vital, you know, and it keeps us on the straight and narrow, really. I'm going to let you go soon. I just want to say I love these chats at the end. I love the chats at the start. Mandakini, if you feel that you need to go a bit longer, if you decide to go with the reading deprivation, let me know in private, or let the folks who are on their road, let them know as well, you know. And it's okay to fall off the wagon. You know, the permission slips are plentiful around here. Anyway, I don't know what they're like in Vienna, but in Dublin there's tons of them. So lean on us and just take it one step at a time. There's such value in it. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, there's massive value in the reading deprivation, but it has to be right for you and it has to be the right time. And there has to be a lot of kind of support around you. There really does have to be a lot of support around you. So if the SHIT in other parts of your life are hitting the fan, if there's lots going on in the rest of your life, I would say keep reading. Keep reading, keep doing your pages, keep letting the stuff out on pages, you know. Guys, it's been a pleasure as always. You are so much fun. I could just talk all day, and I love talking about this kind of stuff to you. So thank you. Thank you for being here. It's, gosh, it's 38 past the hour, so I'm going to let you go and say until tomorrow, Wednesday. I have a fella at home tomorrow, but he'll be busy doing his own thing. Have a great day, Mandakini and Ava, and really appreciate your time and effort, all right? You're doing this. Yay. Well done. All the best. Bye.